Yo YouTube, what is going on everybody? Hope we're all having an absolutely fantastic start to the trading week. Tuesday, fantastic day for me today, and I thought I'd just go over a trade breakdown because I haven't posted one of these in ages. And just for those of you who don't know much about this channel, I'm a Forex trader for almost 4.5 years now, trading the currency markets. Funded trader, all that good stuff, just providing you with a bunch of amazing information. So if you guys like this kind of content and you want to see tips on how you can be improving your trading and going over the mind of a profitable trader and what they look for and how they operate, then please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I get to engage and interact with lots more of you guys. So if you like the content, leave a comment. If you like the video, please leave a like, and if you don't like the video, well, please leave a like. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about it. So what I pretty much do every single day when I'm trading gold, the only time frame, the higher time frame that I'm really looking at is the 1 hour. Like, I may look at the weekly, I may look at the daily, but the way that I trade using these higher time frames is that I kind of use them as a guide. So for example, if I saw something like this last week, right? I saw price coming into this weekly level. I could say to myself, well, I might see that reflect on the daily in which I can take some sells, but I'm not limiting myself only to that. So I don't really have like a daily bias. I have just found that I can gauge all my information from the 1 hour time frame. So I am on replay mode. I'm going to walk through every single step of my process, and yeah, let's begin. So the first thing that I pretty much look at is what is the current state of the 1 hour time frame. All right, so I'm kind of looking at the trends. I'm kind of thinking, okay, what's going on? I might take a peek at the 4 hour, just to kind of see maybe what's going on. But in this scenario, I just saw very simply that price is at this support level and resistance level, and we do have this support down by here. So I was thinking in my head, I can see all these wick rejections. I can see prices failing to break above. So all I'm going to basically be doing is riding a wave down by here. You see how simple that is? That is simply the case. But it doesn't mean that I'm now going to jump into the 5-minute time frame and take some trades. I just have to gauge what the current 1 hour candle is looking like, okay? Because I want to see something like literally this candle was perfect. But if I saw something like this, right? This candle right next to it, that's looking pretty weak for me. Like, it doesn't look like there's a it doesn't look like there's a dominant force in the market, and it definitely does not look like a candle that's going to provide me with a lot of momentum and a lot of volume, right? Because we need that volume. So I use the 1 hour for that way, in multiple other ways too, but today that's what I was thinking of. So I saw this 1 hour candle and I thought to myself, well, do you know what? We are pretty much good to go and look for sells. So once I'm good to go on my bias, I'm now going to be looking at the 5-minute time frame. Okay, so I'm going to basically see what is the overall trend. Okay, so I'm not really too worried about what I'm looking at right by here, but I will sometimes take a little peek just to look at maybe the 15-minute time frame, kind of look at what's been going on here, and we could clearly see that the 15-minute time frame is trending to the downside. And for me, these are very sensitive levels, right? Why is it a sensitive level? Because here, okay, is a 15-minute lower high, and price seems to really react around these levels. So even if I got some bullish sentiment from the 5-minute time frame, I would not be entering longs in and around this space, because the likelihood of it winning is very low, and the likelihood of price coming down is actually much higher. So I'm just looking at the 15-minute as a rough guide, and then I'm looking at the 5-minute to look at the current trend and say, okay, where are we right now? So just looking off the most recent data, I can basically see here price making higher highs, higher lows. We got an uptrend, and this is the key point. We got this high by here, price formed this higher low, and then pushed up to make this higher high. As you've seen in my previous videos, this level is what I call a trend defining point, basically meaning that if price travels below this point, it's going to provide me with a lot of accurate data to assume that we are now in a downtrend. And for this downtrend to now go to an uptrend, this level would now have to be broken. Okay, so the higher high that broke this trend defining point, which is pretty much defined as a lower high, previous lower high or previous higher low, depending on whether you're trending upwards or downwards. As soon as that gets broken, then the higher high that made that low is now our new trend defining point. So this was a very sensitive area for me. Okay, but now I've got all that information. I'm now basically saying to myself, okay, well, I've got everything lining up. got the 1 hour looking good. I got a bit of volume in that candle. I can see that the 5-minute overall trend is to the downside. So now it's time to look for some bad boy trades. Now, where am I going to take this bad boy trade? Well, simply put, I know a lot of you guys might look at these as support levels and all these wicks and stuff. I'm literally going to just go off the most recent break of this structure. Like, I just look at the structure and just see where it is. So I saw this structure by there, and I saw that price had broken lower. So for me, this is a lower low, and I'm expecting price to kind of do something. But in my strategy, what I like to do, okay, is I like to always, even if I have this break by here, I like to always wait for a new break. So I'll just consider this as like a fresh low that needs to be broken. So I'm basically waiting for price to go ahead and break it, which it absolutely did. And what I'm going to do by here is that I'm simply going to put my entry by around there. I'm going to put my stop loss, if I can, behind the previous lower high, because if we call this a low, then this has to be called a high as well. So this part of the strategy might be a bit confusing for you guys because it simply is just one candle, but this is just how I'm looking at the market. With all my experience, I'm able to define these very acute levels. So I'm going to put my stop loss around 100 pips above, right by here. But I do have a little bit of an interesting thing. If I can see that price wants to respect this level, then I will pretty much put my stop loss right by here. I get way better risk to reward, but I can only do that if I get the evidence to support that it's going to hold by here, because we all know that price can reverse all around by here. Okay, so if I put my stop loss by here, behind this lower high, then it provides me with a lot of, confidence that my trade is going to be safe. So all I'm doing is waiting for price to come in and take me for a break and retest, but I didn't enter this trade. Why? Because price just kind of pushed in by here, and actually, hang on a minute. No, there we go. Yeah. So that's it. So I wait for price to get in. Yeah, that's correct. I wait for price to get into this retest level because the patterns that I trade are simply like this. Okay. The good old fashioned break and retest, which seems like everyone's kind of forgotten about these days because of ICT and all this stuff. But here I am trading them, and they work every single day, and they are fantastic. So I can see one little wick rejection by here. And I'm thinking to myself, if I can see another one, then I'm going to be able to take the trade to the downside. But what happened is that price came up and pushed up. Now, another pattern that I do trade is what we call the double top pattern, which looks like this, okay? It doesn't always look as perfect like this, but in this regard, this was a double top, but I'm not going to take it. Why? Because I only take these trades when I can see that the 5-minute time frame on gold is trending very, very clearly. And this, you just look at this, guys, that does not look like a clear trend. Not right now anyway, right? So I'm not going to be taking no double tops, no nothing. And granted, had I done that, I would have had a winning trade, but process is the process. Price at this point, I had no idea whether price was going to smash to the upside or come crashing down, so I'm more than happy to miss a winning trade there. And as we can see, this is something I had to note. Okay, so it got to 6:55, right, and it got to 7 a.m. And for me, I got to now look at the 1 hour time frame in its entirety. Okay. Now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, well, shit, okay, this does not look like a nice candle for me. I mean, look at the difference. This isn't like perfect. It's not like this candle, right? But this is showing some kind of, it's showing some juice to it. Whereas what on earth is this showing me? Showing me nothing. It just looks like a little chode. It just looks like nothing, bro. Like, it's just a shit candle. So I'm not going to trade that at all. I'm going to wait for price to show me that it's got some juice to it. Like, okay, this is not great, but it's better. It's enough for me. Why? Because it's got a nice, decent body. We don't really have really long wicks either side. And it's just looking okay. Like, it's looking good. That's fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to be fine. So we go ahead and now do the exact same process. Okay, what can we see now? Now the situation looks a lot clearer, doesn't it? Now we're starting to form this very clear trend. Okay, but it's not good enough for me to take a double top yet because my process is simply just wait for a break. Okay, we got a break right by here, and this is exactly where I entered. Okay, so when I take my trades, I got two places I can put my stop loss. I can put them behind the most recent lower high, which is simply by here. Why is this a lower high? Because we've got, lows by here. We've got lower high, lower high, lower high. Granted, this is kind of like a consolidation, but for me, if I'm going to be putting my stop losses like this, it's massive. It's massive. And why would I do that if I've seen the data and I've seen that price will respect this structure by here? So I get to have a really nice stop loss by there. So about 320 pips. We can see very, very finely that the level has actually broken right? And this is very important for me. I will have to do this sometimes and double check. I want to zoom in because you can't really see it from there. But when you zoom in, right, it's very clear that this candle closed below, right? So price comes in, taps us in, lovely jubbly. And then what happens by here? Okay, now we're starting to get a little bit more evidence, okay? We can see that price had this one small wick from this candle. This wasn't too much, but as soon as I saw this now, I'm thinking, wow, okay, this is really showing me that it's respecting the structure. So what I do is I make sure that I account for some wicks. I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to go all the way up here. This is my level, but I kind of want to just look to the left and be like, where can I maybe make it a little bit safer? You know, I'd rather be a bit safe than sorry, okay? So that looked pretty good to me. Set my stop loss for around 100 extra pips where the place was, sorry, the level. And now I'm going to set that trade. And do you remember that key level we drew in the 1 hour time frame? I don't know if I did draw it, but this by here, this is what I'm going to be targeting, okay? So this is where my TP is going to be, hopefully, maybe like around by here. So what I'm going to do is see what I can do by there. Okay, we can fit a nice 1 to 2. Okay, but we're not going to stop there. Why? This is the best thing about my strategy, is that we just add positions. Okay, why would I not want to add to a position? Okay, as soon as this trade breaks this low, which is basically defined by the wicks breaking, which happened by there, this trade now goes break even. Okay, so this trade is risk free completely, which is great, which means that I can pretty much put the exact same amount of risk on, but I can get double the reward now. Okay, so I'm going to follow the exact same process, see if I can put my stop loss behind there. I wasn't really able to put it behind here, so I literally went by there. Okay, what do we got here? 442 pips stop loss, looking perfect. I'm going to pretty much just use that TP that I had, and I'm going to just go for it, right? I'm going to just target that. Great, lovely jubbly. Was that the level? Let me just double check that a second. Or did we break it? Sorry about that. Did we break a bit lower? I think we broke a bit lower. Give me a second. Aha, yeah, sorry guys, I made a mistake. I was saying I didn't think that was my trade. I thought my trade was a bit, you know, had a little bit more risk to reward than that. Okie dokie. Hang on a minute. What are we looking at now? There we go. Sorry, I couldn't find it for a second. Okay, so there we go. We can see right by there, that's where the level ends. Why, if I move it to the side, we can see that we got this wick and we got that wick. So what we got to do is account for the wicks as they sort of become adjacent to each other, creating this whole zone by there. Okay, and that's where my stop loss is going to go behind. Okay, as you can see, price literally tapped into it and then just jumped straight away. So there we go. That's much better. That's exactly what my stop loss was like, because I remember I was able to get around a 1-to-1 by here. So I targeted, do you know what, 1-to-1, I'm going to put my TP literally right by there. And I did an extra funny little thing, which is I saw this weird little low, and I thought, well, do you know what, price is going to go down, then fuck it, let's see if we can get one more in. And that's exactly what I did. Stop loss right above there, and we had a brilliant stop loss for this one, 220 pips, fantastic. Anything around 200 or less is great. So there we go. I think I made that 1-to-1, right? Brought all the other TPs around there, so I was thinking to myself, well, I'm able to get around 1-to-4 out of this, or maybe like 1-to-4.5, just from this tiny little move right by there. But what happened, guys? Do you want to know what happened? Price came by here, and this candle right by there, because of all my testing, to be fair, guys, I really don't take like TP trades that often. I literally just kind of see what the market gives me and just hold my trades until they give me a reason to close. And then I'll just, you know, when I see my criteria, I'll just close my trades out, you know, sometimes going for like 1-to-6, 7, 8, sometimes even more. But when I've got these key levels by there, I really always want to set, a TP, because we don't know if price is going to come and just smash down or if it's going to reverse instantly. And because I don't take that many TP trades, the ones that I had tested, you know, you guys probably done the exact same. As soon as you see this happen, like price has come in and like, you know, shown you that it's hit the TP. I saw that on my phone and I was like, yo, it didn't take up my TP. Like I didn't get cashed out, because obviously gold can just bump. It can like wick in with one tiny candle and doesn't really close positions out. So I thought to myself, fuck's sake. Pardon me, for goodness sake, I have to close the trade out now, because technically that trade won, right? And what did I do? I had to end up closing my positions, which was like all the way up here, all the way up there. So I was only able to take out like literally, what is that? Like it was less than that, to be honest. Honestly, it was something like this. So I was only really able to take out like 1-to-2, but 1-to-2 is not too bad. But come on, when you can have 1-to-4, like I'd much rather take 4 grand than 1200, you know. But hey, let's not be greedy. And that's pretty much it. But as we can see, if I just held on, boom, I would have had the full TP. So it's just a lesson for myself as well. Like even, us guys who are pretty experienced, we still make mistakes. We're still learning things. And to be fair, guys, I haven't really been funded that long, but, I've been trading for a while. And all the lessons that I'm learning now are lessons I'm going to give to you guys. So yeah, this was fantastic. Next time this happens, I'll definitely close for the full TP. At least I'll know now that if price is going to reverse, I don't care about price reversing. What I care about really is executing my positions as they're meant to. So if my trade is meant to win, then I'm not going to hold it hoping, right? If I saw that it's won, I'm going to have to do the honorable thing and just close the trade out, really. Because imagine if it reversed, you'd be saying to yourself, oh, for goodness sake, my trade won theoretically, so why didn't I close it out? So it is what it is. Lesson learned. We'll wait for price to just close past the TP if I ever do any testing, just so I don't get, I'll think to myself now when I back test, if it wicks in, I'll basically see that. And I have to say, okay, let's wait for the full close. But yeah, enough of that, guys, talking about it too much. But that's pretty much it. A lovely, lovely, lovely bunch of trading today. So yeah, if you liked the content, guys, please drop me a like. If you didn't like it, please drop me a like. If you really loved it, please subscribe. If you really didn't like it, then please don't subscribe, because I'm helping you guys for free. Actually, you know what? I don't deserve no rewards. I'm doing this because I love you guys, but I would appreciate, some work on the channel so we can get in the algorithm, just so I can help more of you people. But other than that, guys, hope you have a fantastic day. Hope I taught you something. Hope you smash the rest of the week and you're just dripping in profits, dripping in funding. And I'll see you guys soon. I'm out for now. Have a good day and take care.